Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you guys on some more current latest news. It's currently now my third video today that I'm currently doing, so the news is breaking out from the media as it has been doing for quite a long time. The rumours regarding Koulibaly reportedly is a well-experienced central defender, and this is what Jose Mourinho's in the market for now. Potentially Man United are considering making a move for him in this January transfer window that's coming. And reportedly, if we do get a deal over the line, we will make him the most expensive defender in the world. At the moment, it's Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk for 75 million. They address their defensive problems very, very well. So Manchester United have got to do it, as I said, to Koulibaly. The reports first stemmed from, I think, Duncan Castles about this rumour with him being linked with a move to Old Trafford, and I think every area of his game, he adapts his game very, very well. He's reportedly now Jose Mourinho's priority target is Koulibaly because we have got problems defensively. We're leaking too many goals this season, and we have got a lot of injury problems defensively as well. And Mourinho has been linked with a host of central defenders. So reportedly, we know we've got his name, Fossil Mensu and Chuanzebe out on loan. Also to Pilot, he's got great potential, but he's linked with a move away from Manchester United. It did say Man United are looking to get rid of Pilot and Marcus Rojo as well. Potentially Smalling could be gone. You know, maybe next season. Phil Jones might not be here next season. Phil Jones, Chris Smalling might not be here next season. Damien's also injured as well. Luke Shaw's been injured as well. So you could tell we have got a lot of problems defensively. So our centre back position needs addressing. Lindelof's injured as well. But I think if Koulibaly was to come to Manchester United, I think he'd complement our defence fantastically well if you put him alongside or Lindelof as a centre back partnership. And he's highly experienced. Reportedly, Man United would have to pay in the region of around £90 million sterling at least to get the pursuit of the player. I think Napoli have confirmed they are willing to do business if Man United are willing to meet what they're demanding, which is a staggering 90 million, or is it £100 million or something like that. But it has confirmed Manchester United have been in talks with Napoli regarding this. Reportedly, Manchester United have had two previous bids turned down. I think one was around £77-80 million bid. Ed Woodward has been in discussions with the Napoli officials over this, and reportedly the Napoli president, I don't think he's willing to do any business of sanctioning him off. Napoli are not in any desperate situation to sanction the player off because Napoli wouldn't want to lose him. But obviously, if Man United were prepared to pay what Napoli are demanding, now that could tempt Napoli, to offload the player. As I said, so we have got problems at our centre back, and we do need a strong centre back. As I said, and you can tell where the problems lie. And potentially, since Mourinho's especially come in, we haven't been getting his number one targets, as we all know. We haven't been getting major signings that we want. We haven't been getting our first choice signings, really. And a lot of the players that Mourinho's got in, he's got 11 players in. And, he spent over £400 million or something like that. They've really struggled to make an impact, the players that Jose Mourinho's got in. But reportedly now, Koulibaly is Manchester United's number one priority target, as I said, and he's highly experienced in Italy with Napoli. He's been there since 2014, and he's a good, strong, physical defender. He's, age, 27, 28, quite tall as well. And I think he'd suit the Premier League agenda fantastically well, and I think he'd make a great name for himself. One of the best, defenders, especially in Europe as well. But Napoli would make a huge profit on the player. They only paid £7 million for him from Genk, potentially, and he's a very good player, and he's still under contract with Napoli till 2023. He made his senior debut for his international team in 2015. So he's made around 29 appearances for Senegal, as well as Koulibaly, and potentially, so he has been at Napoli since 2014. But Manchester United have held discussions over the pursuit of Koulibaly, as I said. And you can put him as a centre back, you can put him as a full back. I think you can deploy him as a defensive midfielder as well. But we haven't been getting as major signings that we currently want. The best major sign I can remember Manchester United getting was Juan Mata back in 2014 under David Moyes. He was a great signing. He's been very consistent for us. Another great signing I knew was back in 2013 was Robin van Persie. Scored 30 goals in that season. We won his last league with Alex Ferguson. He were really great as well. But since then, we haven't been really getting the signings that we potentially want in the Manchester United team, and we're in need for a strong central defender. We also need an attacker as well, as we all know. But Napoli have confirmed that they don't really want to sanction him off. But if Man United are prepared to pay 90 or 100 million pounds to the player, that would tempt Napoli to sanction the player off. And he's a great defender, strong, physical. Every area of his game, he adapts very well. He's got very little weaknesses in his game as well, and his style of play is amazing. And he's done very well in the Champions League, and he's a really good standout player for Napoli. And he would be, if he was to come to Manchester United, because he is our number one target now, he would dramatically improve defensively, like Virgil van Dijk has at Liverpool. He's dramatically improved them defensively. If Koulibaly was to come, he would be a great signing, and he'd be a big major signing for Manchester United, and he would make a big difference defensively for us, because we've got major problems defensively. As we all know, we've got major problems. We've got injuries there. Obviously Bailey's been out of favour this season at Man United at centre back. Potentially also to Lindelof's been injured, but he dramatically improved this season when he has been playing for Somensu, and Tuan Zebe are out on loan. We've got injuries to a fullback, like Luke Shaw and Darmian, and all that. So we have got a lot of problems defensively, as we all know. And potentially, I think Koulibaly is a highly experienced defender. He'd come to the Premier League and do well, and I think he'd fit in well in the Manchester United squad, and I think he would dramatically improve us. So now, Mourinho did mention that he was too expensive the other day, but reportedly now he's had discussions with Ed Woodward about the January transfer window as Jose Mourinho. They've come to an agreement of who to get. Reportedly, he's going to get hundreds of millions of pounds to spend in the January transfer window. That's already been confirmed because they had a meeting, did Mourinho, George Mendes, and Ed Woodward, of course, as we all couldn't know. But I think, if Mourinho probably will be still here by January anyway. I should presume he'll still be. I think he's going to be here at least until the end of the season, as we all know. But I think Koulibaly would dramatically improve Manchester United. Definitely would improve us. But Man United have held talks. We've had two recent bids turned down for him as well, and I think he would be keen on making a move to the Premier League. He's never played in the Premier League, and he is a really good, strong physical defender. And I think he'd complement the fantastically well, alongside Bay or Lindelof. I think he'd be fantastic, Koulibaly. But the rumours have been going on for quite a while now. But we have got a lot of problems defensively. Marcus Rojo's also injured as well. He may not be next season because Mourinho's looking to get rid of him as well, as it said in the press, and Bailly as well, because reportedly Arsenal are interested in Eric Bailly. Reportedly, he's at the ranks of Espanyol as an ex-Villarreal player. And we've had him here since 2016. He has got great potential, but there has been rumours that he's been linked to a move to go to the Emirates in January, reportedly because he has been out of favour at Manchester United. He's only made 9 starts this season. He's made 44 appearances in the Premier League since he come, and he's only scored that one goal in the Premier League as Eric Bailly as well. Potentially, so it says Arsenal have reportedly been interested in him as well. But Arsenal, obviously, I said, made look a better team under Umremme. I still think they need a couple of windows, to bolster their squad more than Arsenal. They look a so much better team, than they did under Wenger. But potentially, the 22 games unbeaten now. Arsenal have got quite a few of their players that they've got now, that could potentially leave. Obviously, Arsene Wenger already had, they could potentially leave the club as well. And Ramsey's going to leave on a free next summer. As it's confirmed, he's not getting a new contract. And so too, Danny Welbeck's out for the season. And potentially, I think he could leave. He's going to leave next summer on a free, reportedly, as well. But Umremme got 5 players during the course of the summer. He spent £70 million. Lacazette and Aubameyang are fantastic for Arsenal, as I said. So they look a so much better team under Umremme. Has got a good pedigree, as I said. But you see, with Manchester United and Jose Mourinho, we know the pressure's on Jose Mourinho, as we all know. Potentially, the signings that he's got in who are struggling. Matic hasn't really made an impact since he's come, especially this season. He's been very poor in that midfield. He's static. There's no tempo to his play. So I think we're in search for a defensive midfielder as well. You've got Romelu Lukaku there, been playing senior football since the age of 16. Premier League proven in the Premier League, Romelu Lukaku. But, Mourinho's been discussions about his potential form. Lukaku's, he knows he's in poor form. Lukaku hasn't improved his form, of course, this season. He's failed to replicate the form that he showed in his first season at Manchester United. And when he was at Everton, because he scored like 68 goals when he was at Everton, and he's well Premier League proven. He was struggling in his first season with Chelsea because he wasn't being a regular starter when he was at Chelsea. Of course, Lukaku. Potentially, we do need a backup striker. Sanchez isn't delivering the goods. We know he's out till January, but he hasn't delivered the goods since he's come to Manchester United, as we all know. Good in his Arsenal days, but potentially hasn't delivered the goods since he's come to United, as we all know. Paul Pogba, potentially he hasn't really done out since he's come to United. He's like, £89 million. He's like the fourth most expensive player in the world. So the most expensive signing, to my knowledge, at the moment from where if we get this Koulibaly deal done in January or whenever, or next summer, whatever, then he would be the most expensive defender, but he would be a really expensive player. Pogba's one of the most expensive players. Ousmane Dembele is one of the most expensive players. Neymar is the most expensive player in football history. So, money does talk in football, as I said. But Paul Pogba, he hasn't really proved himself in English football, as I said. He had 4 or 5 great years with Juventus. Reportedly, he told Juventus quite a few weeks ago that he did want to potentially make a return back there. He's had disputes with Mourinho. His relationship with Jose Mourinho hasn't been very, very good, as we all know. Mourinho wanted him to lead the way against Valencia on Wednesday. Put a good performance out. Paul Pogba didn't meet what Mourinho was saying, so it's going to be interesting to see if Jose Mourinho starts him at the weekend against Liverpool, Paul Pogba. But he's still got huge talent. When he's on form, he's like 2 players in one in our midfield, as we all know. But potentially, he was a great, great player at Juventus, but he hasn't done it at Manchester United, as we all know. But potentially, I think, we haven't really made any great, great signings, really. We've only made, especially under Mourinho, we haven't been getting his main priority targets we want. We got Lukaku for £90 million, was it, or 75 million? He wasn't the number one target. I did like him because he was proven in the Premier League and he was a prolific goal scorer, but I said there were so much better strikers out there we could have got than Romelu Lukaku. Same with Nemanja Matic. He was like our third choice midfielder that we ended up signing for 40 million. Chelsea didn't want him. Chelsea didn't even want Juan Mata, but he's a great, great player who I do really, really like, and he's well Premier League proven, he's Juan Mata, and he hasn't been a regular this season under Mourinho, but I think he's very, very good. He's very consistent. You can put him on the right. You can put him in the middle. I do prefer him in the middle as well. But Nemanja Matic was not first choice. There were also better alternative options out there. We could have got a lot, much, much better. But we haven't. He has spent over £400 million, and this team, is a good team. It's just not gelling together. They're not playing for Jose Mourinho, as we all currently know, and. Potentially, yeah, so I'd love Koulibaly to come into Man United, but I did say, regardless of who we get in, I don't want Jose Mourinho as our manager anymore. Potentially, there's a few things he's had to say in his press conference going up to Liverpool. He says trophies do matter in football because the interview asked him about trophies because Liverpool haven't won a trophy for a while. They've actually never ever won the Premier League of Liverpool, since it was founded in 1993. He did say as well, Man United are far from playing in my image. He also admitted this as well. Did Jose Mourinho, and he said potentially, De Gea and Matic are going to be back into the squad. Obviously, they're the only ones available at the moment. Obviously, due to a lot of injuries that we've potentially got. And he did confirm Rashford, Lingard, and Ashley Young will be starting on Sunday. They were the substitutes that came on against Valencia, and when they came on, we looked so much better against Valencia midweek, as we all currently know. Mourinho said it was still a success to qualify for the Champions League. It was still a success to qualify for the outs of the Champions League, but he did say he wasn't surprised by the result, and he did criticise the starting 11 that he started out against Valencia, but he rested a lot of players, obviously because we had qualification, for the knockouts were already secured anywhere. But I was annoyed because the performance wasn't up to scratch. We didn't perform at all for the majority of that game. Was on the back foot, build-up play too slow, and the structure of the team just isn't right, as we all know. We're sitting 6th in the league. We're 16 points behind Liverpool. We're 8 points behind top 4. Mourinho was discussing a few weeks ago that he wanted top 4 by the end of the year. I can't see this potentially happening because, Mourinho, for me, everyone questions his team selections and his tactics. He doesn't potentially, for me, know his best 11, Jose Mourinho. His plan A is rubbish. His plan B is rubbish, as we all currently know. But and we know he hasn't had the best relationships, with the top players since he's been here. We know he's got a good pedigree and he has succeeded in the past as Mourinho. And the expectation would be for Mourinho, considering the size of this club, historically the best team in English football still. and the history of this club and the history of Mourinho, the expectation levels would have been get Manchester United competing and back to challenging for major honours, which we have failed to do since Alex Ferguson left, as we all know, because this team is not a replica of Alex Ferguson's team, as we all currently know. But we haven't been getting signings we want. Mourinho's also, of course, frustrated with a lack of, investment in the transfer window. He was frustrated during the course last summer because we didn't get the players, that we only got 3 players in. That was Dolat, Lee Grant, second choice keeper, and obviously Fred for £52 million, and he's not getting the game time once. I know he played midweek, but Mourinho did confirm when we get better defensively, when we're strong defensively, and when the team's better balanced, Fred will get more game time, and that's what Mourinho said in the press the other week as well. But I'd love Koulibaly. He's very, very good. I think he'd do well if he came to the Premier League. He's been very, very good for Napoli, and he's just a very, very good composed defender. A lot of aggression to his play, and he's really, really good indeed. He's a Koulibaly, and I think he'd dramatically improve us defensively if he was to come. He's reportedly now Manchester United's priority target. As I said, so it's going to be interesting to see how Mourinho lines up against Liverpool. As I said, De Gea and Matic will be coming back in the squad as that's confirmed. They'll be coming back in the squad as that's confirmed. But yeah, it's going to be a very, very tough game. As I said, going into the game, it's going to be very, very tough. As I said, this is the 201st meeting, between Liverpool and Manchester United, as we all know. 201st meeting between Liverpool and Manchester United. Man United winning 80, Liverpool winning 65, and there's been 55 draws between the sides. Liverpool 34 the Premier League goals this season, only conceded 6, sitting top of the league, 16 games unbeaten. This is potentially their best run in a long, long time, and now they have got a great squad. Klopp spent quite a bit of money, spent £400 million in 6 transfer windows. He's emulated the football he did with Borussia Dortmund, and now he's brought it to Liverpool as Jurgen Klopp, and potentially I think Liverpool are going to come in this game with a lot of confidence. They potentially haven't beaten us in the last 8 Premier League games though, so we haven't lost to Liverpool in the last 8 Premier League games. Last time they beat Man United was at Old Trafford back in 2014 when we had Moyes at the time. They had Brendan Rodgers, and we lost 3-0. We lost 1-0 that season, so they did double over us that season. But the last 2 games at Anfield have been 0-0 draws. Mourinho parts the bus. I think, was it once or twice? I think he did it both times, didn't he? I couldn't remember the other one, but I knew he did it last season. He parts the bus against Liverpool. He parts the bus this season against Manchester City. So he is well known for parking the bus. He's Jose Mourinho, as we all know. So we can't go in that game parking the bus. We've got to go out all attacking, as I'm currently said. And we're looking for back-to-back victories against Liverpool since January 2016, because that season we did the double over Liverpool. We beat them last season, of course, 2-1 at home. Rashford scored twice in that game. First goal, we're really, really good. He scored in that game. But as I said, Liverpool have got a lot of potential in that team. They've got a lot of great players. As I said, Jurgen Klopp's got rid of 24 players. As I said, so they've got great players such as Salah, for me, best player in the Premier League. Firmino, Mane, great attacking trio for Liverpool, and they can cause our defence all sorts of problems. As I said, and we did beat them 4 times on about that. The 2 most historically in football, as I said, and potentially it's going to be a great game. Going to be a very, very tough game for Manchester United, but I just think Liverpool are going to have too much for Manchester United. I don't think we'll be able to cope with the pressure they're going to put on us. We've got a lot of problems. Liverpool have got a few injuries as well. They've got Chamberlain out for the season. They've got Joe Matip out until January. I think it said James Milner's got muscle cramps as well. But they haven't got much injury problems really. They've got Joe Matip out and Oxlade-Chamberlain of Liverpool to the likes of Koulibaly, because Koulibaly is a great strong central defender. He's in a different league to Tove Alderweireld. Tove Alderweireld, I did say I had reservations about him, but he can potentially be a world-class central defender, can Tove Alderweireld. Mourinho discussed of how reluctant Tottenham are to sanction the best players off. They have done it over the years, but Pochettino's only spent £50 million since 2014 at Tottenham Hotspur, as we all currently know. But yeah, saying about Tove Alderweireld, he's been a potential Manchester United target as well as Tove Alderweireld, of course, also the ex-Ajax and Atletico Madrid and ex-Southampton player, but he is Premier League proven, Tove Alderweireld. Toby Alderweireld, but he has been a potential Manchester United target. But now Koulibaly, reportedly, well, it looks like Toby Alderweireld's main priority target. Now the attentions have gone back on Koulibaly, and reportedly he's top of Jose Mourinho's list. Is Koulibaly and Toby Alderweireld's obviously Manchester United, of course, have been linked with him as well. The rumour, as he updated you earlier on about the David De Gea news that was going on, reportedly he's told his friends, reportedly De Gea, that he's on the verge of signing a new deal. This new deal reportedly is going to be worth around £400,000 a week, plus bonuses added onto the deal as well. But reportedly, Man United have been in discussions for quite a long time of trying to secure David De Gea this new deal. Reportedly, his representatives have been in discussions of signing him a new deal. It looks likely now that he's going to sign a new deal, according to what he said. Mourinho did suggested out that David De Gea did want to stay at Manchester United, reportedly. But potentially he's won Club's Player of the Year 4 out of 5 seasons. As David De Gea. Potentially, it did come from, what was it, a few weeks ago, that he's activated his clause. He's put, well, we got that 1-year extension on his current contract until 2020, so that was confirmed quite a few weeks ago. Mourinho did say he was convinced he was going to sign a new deal. He said before that he wasn't confident he was going to sign a new deal, but Mourinho... De Gea did say he's happy at Manchester United. Mourinho says he's a world-class keeper, we all know. Obviously, they share the same representatives because George Mendes is Mourinho's agent. George Mendes is David De Gea's agent as well. And potentially, from George Mendes' perspective, he said it's up to him if he potentially signs a new deal. And I think it's looking likely he's going to sign a new deal. He's made over 2 century appearances since he's been here. Potentially, and it's great news that he's on the verge of signing a new deal, which would potentially make him the most expensive goalkeeper in the world, as we all know. Real Madrid were heavily linked with him. They nearly got him in 2015, and recently, Paris Saint-Germain have been linked with him, who are under financial fair play. Juventus have been interested in him as well. Reportedly, PSG willing to offer him 60 million and 4-year deal, £300,000 a week. But reportedly, it's looking likely he's going to sign a new deal with Manchester United. Which is great news. As we all know, he's noticing the lack of ambition in the team. He's noticing the lack of effort and work ethic in the team, and he's not satisfied about this because he did discuss quite a while back he wanted to be up there challenging, for silverware, did David De Gea. But Man United are going to will to offer him £400,000 a week, which would potentially make him the highest paid goalkeeper in the world, one of the highest paid players at the club, just behind Alexis Sanchez. Well, it's £400,000 a week, plus bonuses as well required. But he did say Juventus, of course, were also interested in him as well. But reportedly, £400,000 a week plus bonuses. He's on the verge of signing this new deal. It hasn't been fully announced yet, but reportedly he's on the verge of signing it. But it did say Man United were targeting Jordan Pickford as a potential replacement if David De Gea was to leave next summer. Reportedly, but Jordan Pickford under contract for Everton 2024. Very good player for Everton. Very good keeper for Everton. He's been at Everton since 2017. Everton paid £30 million for him from Sunderland, where he actually risen up the youth system with Sunderland as well. Reportedly, and he'd been then loaned out at a lot of teams. His performances in the World Cup were absolutely outstanding as well. Jordan Pickford's. He's won some individual awards. He's won Everton's Player of the Season, Everton Young Player of the Season, and Everton Player of the Season as well. Jordan Pickford. Reportedly, he did say if they to leave next summer, Man United were preparing a £70 million bid for Jordan Pickford, which would potentially make him the most expensive goalkeeper in the world. But one of them, just behind Chelsea's, Kepa. But potentially now we won't need to do that if De Gea signs this new deal, which is looking likely he's going to do. But I think De Gea would be happy to stay as long as we're up there challenging the major honours, as we all currently know. But yeah, that's great news for Manchester United, as we all currently know. But as I said, since Ferguson's retired, this team is not reflecting from what the team we had under Fergie achieved, and the success Ferguson achieved. And Mourinho is not potentially, doing this at Manchester United, as we all know. It's potentially the players he's bought, majority of them are struggling, but I think the best players for us this season are potentially Rashford. He's been a Manchester United player since the age of 7. He's doing very, very well. He's only age 21, good young edge prospect. You know, he's got a good pedigree scoring on his debut as well. He's going to attract a few interest from teams as well. Martial's been fantastic for us when he's been fully fit this season. Great young player. Martial and David De Gea, they are the best three players this season. So seems to me, you know, Mourinho obviously didn't get these players in. They were already here when Jose Mourinho came in, and these seem to be the players that are performing. But the players that Mourinho's got in, the majority of them are not performing that good. And you know, there's a lot of players coming to end their deals that Manchester United need to address as well, and the board and the owners, you know, need to think about that as well. You know, there's been talks, you know, potentially, you know, Man United have reportedly been in talks of trying to secure, you know, Juan Mata a new deal. Great consistent player. He was a great major signing. Chelsea wanted to sanction him off anywhere, but he was a great signing for Manchester United. Was Juan Mata. You know, obviously played against the next team the other night. Real Madrid are reportedly interested in getting Juan Mata because that's why, you know, he risen up the youth system with Real Madrid. Did Juan Mata. You know, I worked through him, you know, with Valencia. Did very well with Chelsea in his 3-year tenure there. His playing tenure there, and now he's at United, and he's been at United since 2014. So he has been here since David Moyes' era, and I think he's been fantastic. Juan Mata, you know, since he's come to the club, very consistent, very good, and he hasn't been a regular under Jose Mourinho this season from the start, as we all know. Reportedly, Real Madrid are interested in him now, Juan Mata, but he's won everything in English football, apart from the Premier League. He hasn't won the Premier League yet, Juan Mata, surprisingly. He didn't even win it with Chelsea. He won the Champions League, Europa League and FA Cup and that with Chelsea, and he's won honours here. You know, he's won honours here, but he hasn't, you know, won the Premier League yet as Juan Mata. But great player. He is free to discuss with other teams about leaving in January. But we haven't secured him a new deal yet. But I do want to keep Juan Mata. He's a great player. Same with Herrera. I think he's done okay this season for us. He's been obviously he didn't play against Valencia, but before that he was making first team starts. Early on in the season he was making substitute appearances, but there's been no sign of Man United securing him a new deal yet as well. Same with Antonio Valencia. Reportedly, he said he's struggling. He's going to struggle to win now under Jose Mourinho. He is age 33 years old now. Reportedly could leave in January, so that's another player that could potentially leave. Reportedly, West Ham have been interested in him. West Ham spent around £90-100 million on players during the course of the summer. Reportedly, West Ham have been interested in him as well. A few Spanish teams have been interested in Antonio Valencia as well, reportedly. Reportedly, there's been a few teams interested in him in Valencia. He's 33. Man United do have the option to extend his contract by a further year. I think Man United have been in talks. He's been at the club now, what is it, a decade? Antonio Valencia. And reportedly, he could go in January because he's had disputes with Mourinho. He's had a fallout with Jose Mourinho. This was potentially, according to the press, this was back in the Valencia game at Old Trafford when we drew 0-0 earlier on stage, reportedly. And this potentially could make Valencia move in January. As reportedly he's accepted he will struggle to win under Mourinho now. He's not going to be guaranteed first team football, is he, week in, week out, because one, he's age 33, and obviously Mourinho mainly puts Ashley Young now at right back anywhere. Obviously his most central right back is Ashley Young, because he plays him there mainly. But last couple of games, Ashley Young's operated at left back, as he has done in the past few times. You know, obviously didn't start against Valencia, but he came on to replace Rojo at left back. He started Rojo at left back, but he brought Ashley Young on, and he went on left back. And against Fulham, he played at left back as well, Ashley Young. But mainly Ashley Young's our main right back. You know, Diego Doyle, you know, he's injured as well. Potentially, if he starts playing the way he did against Fulham, and Mourinho may start selecting him more often at that right back position, you know, so Valencia will potentially, you know, be out of favour, as we more currently know. There's been rumours going on that Man United are linked with Tango and Dembele as well. Lyon are reportedly wanting around a £90 million fee for him as well. There's been a few teams interested in him, but according to the press the other week, reports were coming out from France reportedly that Man United were emerging as the front runners to get him. Reportedly, Manchester United would have to pay around £90 million for him if we were to get him, reportedly. He's a Lyon player. They got him earlier on this year permanently in a deal with £7.2 million. Obviously, before Lyon signed it, got him, paid for a 1 year deal for him. They paid around £2 million for him as well. But Tango Ndombele has been a potential Manchester United target. As I said, he is age 20, 21 years of age. He's supposed to be a very, very good competitive midfielder. Is this player reportedly City have been interested, Barca have been interested, Tottenham have been interested in Ndombele as well. But he is a Lyon player. Koulibaly is a frigging tank. Yeah, I love Koulibaly. If you read, when you come off this video, you'll read what I've discussed about Koulibaly. Yeah, I love Koulibaly. Adapts every area of his game very, very well. Has very, very little weaknesses. I don't think, for me, what I've watched him, he has any weaknesses. Man United have been in talks with Napoli. Ed Woodward's actually met up with the officials of Napoli. I don't think the Napoli president's willing to do any business, but they're demanding them on around €100 million, £90 million sterling for the player. And Man United reportedly, according to what I've read, Mourinho's willing to pay this. Ed Woodward says the money's there because we're reportedly getting £100 million to spend in January. And Koulibaly, under contract when after 2023, is being fantastic in Italy. And financially, they wouldn't want to lose one of the best players defensively, but they're going to make a huge profit because they only paid £7 million for him from Genk. Obviously, when he was younger at that time, he's now age 27, 28. Good, strong, physical defender. And we desperately need a centre-back. And I think Koulibaly would be a great major signing. It would be our first major signing, basically, since we bought Juan Mata, because since Mata, we haven't really got any major signings. Any big signings, we haven't been getting as number one targets. We've been getting, like, average players. And as you can see, with 11 players that Mourinho has bought into the club, majority of them have not been performing. Matic is terrible. Lukaku, I like him as a striker, but his first touch concerns me. He doesn't have any tempo to his plays, lethargic. And it was great in his first season with United, but he hasn't done it this season. He's well proven in the Premier League that is beneficial, but he hasn't done it with United this season. I told you the best players this season for us is Rashford, Martial and De Gea. That's it. The rest of them are struggling. Lindelof, to be fair, when he was fully match fit, he's improved as well, to be quite fair. Matic, I think he's had one good game this season. That was Arsenal. That's it. That's the only good game I think Matic has had this season. Arsenal, I thought he played well against Arsenal, but he's too slow in that midfield, and we're in search for a defensive midfielder. But Toby Alderweireld, we know we could get him in January. Any day of the week. I know he's a lot cheaper than Koulibaly, but Koulibaly's a much better defender than Toby Alderweireld. Obviously, we've got to fork a lot more money out than 40 million, but Napoli are demanding around 90 million, £100 million. Mourinho did say we're a bit too expensive, but it's come to an agreement now that Man United could get Koulibaly in January because we've got a lot of problems defensively. We've got players injured. Bailey's out of favour at the club. He's linked with Arsenal. Rojo's now injured. Fosu-Mensah and Tuanzebe are out on loan. Chris Smalling may not be here next season. Same with Phil Jones. Doyle, of course, is injured as well. So we need a strong central defender to address that defence. And I have no confidence. I'd be so happy if we did get Koulibaly in January. But, I still have no confidence as Jose Mourinho as our current manager. And that's about it. That's just my opinion on it. And potentially recommend a new man in the job. I want a new man to come into Manchester United. Mourinho doesn't suit the strappings of this club. His tactics are totally wrong. And I think Pochettino would be beneficial. I'd love Zinedine Zidane to come over as manager. But Pochettino, in terms of silverware as manager, hasn't really won out, but he's never really managed a big, massive club. Tottenham are an okay club, but they're not a big, massive club. But in his playing career, did he play 18 years in his playing career? He played for Espanyol, he managed Espanyol, he's managed Southampton. He's been a manager since 2009 as a Pochettino, as we all currently know. There's been talks about him coming in. Reportedly would have to pay £40 million at the end of the season. Reportedly, Pochettino's aware of the speculation going on. He's fully committed to Tottenham. He's happy at Tottenham, reportedly. And he's only spent £50 million, so he's frustrated with lack of investment. But he has got a lot of good bunch of players out there, this Pochettino. And he's just looking to get in the top four with Tottenham this season. It would cost us less to sack Mourinho at the end of the season if we didn't get top four. We're not going to get top four, as I said, but I would love Zinedine Zidane to come in. He's never played or managed in the Premier League. He's managerless at the moment. He's set to return back to management soon. Is Zinedine Zidane well known for winning individual awards? Well known for winning a lot of silverware. With Madrid, in his playing career with Real Madrid, in his playing career with Juventus, also played for Bordeaux as well. He has had discussions in the past, with his representatives about coming to manage in English football, Zinedine Zidane, and potentially Bayern Munich wants Zinedine Zidane because they're not happy with their manager, but you know, Pochettino, I think, would be one of the favourites if Mourinho was to be sacked at the end of the season to come in as well. But as I said, Koulibaly, great defender. As I discussed, watch from the beginning of the video and you will like it indeed of what I've said about Koulibaly. He dramatically improves his defence. Every area of his game, he adapts himself fantastically well. Played well in the Champions League against Liverpool. Might have got squared off by Salah for the first goal, but apart from that, you know, he did get embarrassed. But apart from that, you know, he dealt with Salah and Firmino very well in that game for Napoli. Now Napoli are not in the Champions League, so potentially that may give us a significant sign to go on and sign Koulibaly in January, as I said. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribe as always, guys, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very soon.